Rockford's home for Classic Rock, 96.7 The Eagle. Good morning, I'm Double T. Special guest joining me, Pat McGann. He's got a new comedy special, When's Mom Gonna Be Home? Pat, how you doing today?
Double T, thanks for having me. Can you tell we named that special a few months ago?
Yeah, no kidding.
Now it's When's Mom Not Gonna Be Home? When's Dad not going to be home? When's Dad going to get a job? When is Dad going to be out of the house?
Is that how your kids are? It doesn't matter if you're there and Mom's out and there's a problem. They don't want you. They want Mom?
More often than not. Occasionally they'll want me. But yeah, it was always, that was the number one question. When's Mom going to be home? When's Mom going to? It's like, don't you think I'm wondering the same thing? Like, I don't know. How about this? When I start paying attention to you, she's close.
I don't want to be here either, okay?
Yeah.
When it comes to parenting, who's the good cop and who's the bad cop?
Oh, my wife is definitely a little bit more soft than I am.
Uh-huh.
I got to lay down the law sometimes, but, it's tough. We try and be like a united front, right? That's the goal, but sometimes my wife will cave.
Do your kids understand that you're a comedian and what you do, or are they like, why is Dad gone for so long, and now why is Dad home all the time?
I think they understand a little bit. They've seen some clips. I brought two of the kids separately. I brought them to shows and to kind of get a feel for all of it, which is pretty insane because they're young, like 7 and 6 years old when I brought them. But it's also cool for them to see it. And they're just like, I don't know why people are laughing, and Mom doesn't sound that way. Like, they don't get it at all.
And you tend to talk about your wife a lot. She's got to be a good sport about it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I do get after my wife a little bit, but that's just because, I love her, right? And it's it's all based in truth. I get on her for spending money. I tend to write about things that bother me, right?
Right.
We're broke and she's spending money. It's just like, I don't understand it. Like, and I wish I could get some help from like the financial institutions, because all that stuff is connected, right? Like when you're making a purchase, wouldn't it be nice to get a message that says like, you owe Chase Financial $9,000, just a reminder. Do you want to proceed with this purchase? Like, yeah, the bow tie for our dog, ring it up. We need that.
And I think the cool thing about it, I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm like, oh, yeah. I mean, we all relate to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I try and just talk about my life, and a lot of people are in the same boat. We're so involved with the kids, and then, now that backfires on you, because now they're, like, relying on you, and you're like, just get away from me, but you can't, because every house is, like, that open floor pattern. HGTV now, you turn that on. I was like, we got to open it up in here. This place sucks. Got walls. Like, this place could be cool if there were rooms. like we had rooms. We grew up with rooms. Remember that? Like,
oh yeah.
We're like, where you at? I'm in the dining room. Get the hell out of there. You're not allowed to. Now kids go everywhere in the house. They're in our bedroom. They're in our bed. I could never go in my parents' bedroom. I was like allowed to the threshold of the carpet. There'd be some dude there behind a velvet rope. And I'd be like, I'm here to see my folks. He'd be like, you're not on the list.
You weren't allowed in your parents' bedroom. You weren't allowed in the dining room. You weren't allowed in the living room. You were basically allowed in the family room, in your bedroom, in the bathroom, and that was it.
Yeah, and you knew where you were. Like, now, if I get up, my kids will, like, take my spot. And then I come back. Like, my dad would just have to look at me, and I'd be, oh, sorry, like, I know you always sit here. I come back, they're like, too bad, dude. Too bad, dude. Like, what? Dude?
You didn't say seat back.
Right, exactly.
I'm talking to comedian Pat McGann, his new comedy special, When's Mom Gonna Be Home? You filmed it at the Vic Theater in Chicago. And first of all, I got to give you a compliment, because I've never seen the Vic Theater look that good. Is that really the Vic? It's got to be somewhere else.
Well, yeah, this Comedy Dynamics that I'm working with, and Sebastian Maniscalco is producing the special. They were very much making sure that everything looked great. And the Vic is beautiful. I guess it depends on the angle you look at it,
right.
the way you light it. But it does have that, like, it's just so old school. And it's got those boxes on the side. I call them like the Lincoln boxes, and those look great on camera. So I'm happy we did it in Chicago, because I've lived here my whole life, and it was cool to do it in my hometown.
It was cool, too, because I had buddies that lived a couple of blocks away. They lived in a crappy apartment, paid a lot of money for it. And we used to go to shows there and the Bruin View all the time. So I'm really familiar with that theater.
Oh, yeah. I used to live right by there, too. I used to live right on Kenmore in school. And I went to that Bruin View. It's kind of maybe the same size. It's not as beautiful as the Coronado. We came through there, Sebastian and I. I opened for Sebastian at the Coronado maybe, I don't know when this was, maybe a year ago. I think we did 2 shows on a Friday night. It was bananas.
It's a great old theater. They did a great job remodeling it. Did you get any time around Rockford, or were you basically at the Coronado the whole time?
I was just at the Coronado. So it being a home game for me, everyone else was on the road that weekend for the tour. They were staying in hotels. I was staying at home. So I just went right to the theater, did the gigs, and then it was one of those rare nights I didn't have to stay in a hotel.
That makes a difference, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. But I remember coming through Rockford when I was starting out. There was a bar called, was it BT's?
LT's.
LT's, and they did a comedy night.
When you did the comedy at LT's, were you on the stage that was kind of makeshift above the stairway, or was it an actual stage? Do you remember?
I believe it was an actual stage.
Okay.
And this is probably like 2008, 2009.
Unfortunately, that's not here anymore, but it was a great place to see comedy. A lot of great comedians came through and performed there.
Yeah, I was there, and I remember I was opening for, I forgot who I opened for, but I was opening for someone that, had like legit credits and had been on the road. Yeah, you used to be part of like a run. You would do that on a Tuesday, and then I think you were off Wednesday, and then you'd pick up Thursday, Friday, Saturday at Dr. Grins in Grand Rapids.
Now, where did you perform in Chicago through the years?
Zany's was kind of like my home club. I was really fortunate. They asked me to be their house MC right after I started, and that meant I would host every night. They were only closed on Mondays, so I hosted every night, Tuesday through Sunday. We were doing some weeks like 13, 14 shows a week. And I was meeting so many great comics because they were bringing in different acts every week, and got to see so many great acts. And then there were great middle acts that were more than likely local. So I got to meet a ton of people in the Chicago scene. And for me, it just became home. I was, at one point, I did like 9 months in a row there, and I was just getting in a crazy amount of stage time.
In such a history of comedy in Chicago.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we got Second City that's just a few doors down from Zany's, and all the comics from Zany's go to this same bar as a lot of the Second City people. So really great scene. The stand-up and improv is a little bit separate, but it's friendly, Was comedy something you always wanted to do like as a kid, or is it something that came on later? I always loved comedy, but I don't know that I always wanted to be a stand-up. I always was drawn to being funny and funny stuff, and all my friends were funny. Like, sense of humor was really a prominent thing in my life. I like to write. I always like to write. But I got into sales and started a career, and I would still be writing, but didn't know what to do with it. And then when I was like 31, my wife, I was just dating her at the time, but she was like, "You should try this." And we went to an open mic, scouted out a little bit, and I was like, "Yeah, maybe I'll give this a shot." So.
When it comes to writing, do you prefer, the part of creating or taking the final product and performing it for the fans?
I like the process of putting it together, that process is always evolving. I was really recently working a lot of stuff out on stage. Like, I'd have rough ideas where I used to write a lot. So that's what really sucks about not being able to do shows right now. It's hard to develop a lot of material because people are like, "Oh, you writing a lot? You're doing a lot?" It's like, well, yeah, I'm writing I got a new bit about getting drunk in my basement crying about what happened to our world. I got a new bit on how I'm going to pay my mortgage, trying to figure that out.
We need comedy right now because it is kind of a scary place, and if we don't laugh, we'll cry.
No, we do need it. You always need comedy, and it still exists. It's just got to find new ways to push it out right now. Social media is a big way. I'm doing some virtual shows. Mostly corporate stuff, like for companies that are doing happy hours, trying to keep morale up. So it's not thriving like it was. I mean, comedy was booming. But it'll come back for sure. I mean, that's what's cool about having this special to drop now at this time. I'm excited. Hopefully some people will be drawn to it just for the fact that they want an escape and get some laughs and remember those nights when we could all gather in a theater like that.
I'm talking to comedian Pat McGann. His new comedy special is called When's Mom Gonna Be Home? And where can people check out the special?
It's going to be available on Amazon, Apple TV. If you have Comcast, I think you can grab it on Comcast. I know it's, I think even like Vimeo, and it's a lot of different platforms. It'd be easy to find if you do a search for it. But I know a lot of people have Amazon, and we need to give them some more money right now, right? They're struggling. Amazon is really, if you could help out Jeff, he really needs some help.
How much of your money do they have right now?
Well, they always said I had our money. My wife is always constantly ordering. We have boxes coming in every day. Everywhere I go, there's boxes. Front door, back door, trunk of the car. She's playing a shell game with me. You know, she used to ship stuff to her office and like launder it through the work bag to get into the home. Just say, I'm returning that. That's for someone else. Like, how much was this? I don't know. I got that a long time ago. Before currency? What are you talking about? Never can say how much it was. Are those new shoes? Yeah, how much are those? They were 30% off. Oh, is that how much they were? Let me jot that down in our ledger.
You keep a ledger?
Yeah, right.
Next time Amazon's going to go, Pat, we're looking at your bills here. You're going to have to do a free comedy special for us.
Yeah, exactly.
Comedian Pat McGann is my guest. New comedy special, When's Mom Gonna Be Home? Thank you so much for taking the time. Good luck for the special, and we look forward to having you out in Rockford sometime in the future.
Definitely. Thanks, Double T. I appreciate you having me.
It's Rockford's home for Classic Rock, 96.7 The Eagle.